Happy Thursday, family. Thank you for joining us on today's edition of Basic Financial Literacy with Kurt. I hope you enjoyed the last two editions. 2 weeks ago, we shared on the rule of 72 and the power of compounding. And then last week, we shared on how your money can grow, right? Positively. And today, on this episode, we will focus on how the rule of 72 affects us negatively in our communities, and most importantly, how to stop from letting it affect us moving forward on our goal to financial independence. Because we need to have a goal, family, and that goal needs to be financial independence. So let me share my board here. I'll share my whiteboard with you and get into today's big goal, right? So how is the rule of 72 affecting us negatively in our communities? Well, there are four big ways. The first one is credit cards, right? Now, this is the one that most people get caught up in. As a matter of fact, for me, when I started my journey 4.5, 5 years ago, this was an area that I had to address. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, the average credit card was about 21%. Today, the average credit card is, according to Forbes, 16.5%. So, the rule of 72 and 72 divided by 16.5, that's going to tell you how long it takes for your money to double. So in this case, it would take you about 4.3 years. So if you keep paying your minimum, every 4.3 years, what you're paying is going to double. Now, the other place that we get caught up crazily is department store card, right? Now, those carry a lot more interest rate. Actually, right now, the average store card interest rate is 23%. Now, again, 72 divided by 23, you're looking at every 3 years for your money to double that you're paying the bank, right? Or because the store card use a bank, so don't be confused. It is the bank that is behind those store cards, right? There is a bank. So every 3.1 years, your money is doubling that you pay them. Now, as you can see from the color of my skin, if I identify with a group, it's African Americans, right? I am from Belize, and so my stuff to you is, I live in America, so I'll tell you the Black community in America, and I live in Texas, and specifically Texas, the biggest place where we are getting fleeced is car title loan. Now, car title loan, you are looking, and this is in accordance with U.S. data, on car title loans, you're looking at a 300% APR. That's crazy. And then the other biggest place is payday loans. Now, again, like I say, I live in Texas, and Texas have the highest percentage of APR that they pay on a payday loan. So in Texas, it's 664%. Yes, family, you heard me right. 664%. And this is CNBC.com. You could go up and look these numbers up on CNBC.com. So what I will tell you is that the way out, and I'm here about the way out, right? Because you at some place have to draw the line and say, how do I get from where I am to where I want to be? Woo! That everything in life, right, starts with one, a commitment, right? So you got to make a commitment, and what that commitment need to be. Well, what I'm going to share with you today, one and two is reversible. They go together, but you have to have one to have a two, right? So, but it begins with a commitment, and I would say one, the commitment is mental. So I will go with this one as number one, which is to commit to live below your means, right? So if you are making 5,000 a month, don't spend 5,500, right? Because where's that 500 coming from? Someplace on the left side of the screen, right? So the second thing I'll tell you on this is that you have to commit to paying yourself first, right? You got to commit to paying yourself first. You got to commit that you go to work for you. You don't go to work for the credit card company. You don't go to work for the department stores. You don't go to work for a car title company. You don't go to work for a payday loan. You're going to pay yourself first. And where do you put that money that you are paying yourself first? You put that money in one of the vehicles I showed you last week, preferably something that's indexed, right? But you got to commit. Some places called dollar cost averaging, where you save a constant amount every month, but you got to commit to pay yourself first. Why? So that you don't have to go back to any of these other places should you run into trouble. Number three is to run your finances, run off a written budget. Now, that is key, because a written budget, if you don't have a written budget, you're going to always think that you probably have more money than you have, which is a trap, which goes back to number one, right? You got to commit to living below your means. So if you have it written down, you know exactly where you are. If you email me, kurt.cutkelvin@wealthwave.com, I'm going to send you an interactive budget that probably have everything you need to throw in there, and it will always show you at the bottom how much money you actually have. I'll give that to you. Just email me and I'll send that interactive budget to you. Again, it's kurt.cutkelvin@wealthwave.com. So run off a budget, commit to running off a budget. And finally, number four, you got to commit, right? All of these are commitments, right? Make a commitment to expanding your income. Now, this is a big one. This was a big one for me, because here is the reality. When I didn't have financial mentors, when I didn't have people who were speaking into my life, like I'm sharing right here, just some basics, what I used to always do is try to see how I could cut something out of my budget, out of my life each month. So I was always seeing if I could get to a lower number. Well, here was the issue with that, right? The lowest number you could get is having zero debt, right? You will always have obligations, but zero debt. So the goal is to get to zero debt, but then you still have life obligations. Now, once I make that commitment to live below my means, to pay myself first, to run off a written budget, and to commit to expanding my income, then what my mentors shared with me is that we shouldn't be looking, 10% of our time should be looking at what we could eliminate. 90% of our time should look on where we want to go, because where we want to go is unlimited. Income is unlimited. Your expenses is going to always get to a bottom line, zero, and then you can't crump anywhere else. So My encouragement to you, family, is this: commit to living below your means, pay yourself first, run off a written budget, and commit to expanding your income. If you don't know where to go to expand your income, give me a call, 210-870-9066, and I'll share some ideas with you, right? It's going to begin with what is your gift, right? But again, there's other places that you could expand your income. And there's other places that you could do it on a part-time basis. So you don't have to change your job, right? But just start part-time. So that's what I want to share with you today, family. Now, next week, I'm going to share with you on where to find money if you want to commit to paying yourself first. There's a lot of places you could find money in your budget right now, and I'll show you some of those places next week. All right? Thank you for allowing me to speak into your life. God bless you. And remember, your best is yet to come as you commit, right, to living below your means and expanding your income. God bless you. Bye-bye. Hey, good afternoon.